All right, so now that we've got our coffee all strained, this is some that I had left in my refrigerator, so I want to use that up. I thought it would be fun to make a latte. So what I have here, I don't have a microwave, so mine gets heated in a little saucepan. Like I said, I do a 1-to-1 ratio, so I've already got 4 ounces of water in the measuring cup, just to save time. So I will put the 4 ounces of the coffee. Yeah, it's a little more than one. Perfect. Just the right amount left. That's going to go in here. Now you can either leave this as is if you just like a nice black cup of coffee. Just warm it up. Totally cool. But if you want to try some different things, flavor extracts are where it's at. I am telling you, these have opened up an entire world for me. Not just with coffee, but hot chocolate, all kinds of things. I use flavor extracts in my pancakes. I make keto pancakes, so I'll put banana extract in, or apricot or strawberry, just to give it a little bit of a different flavor. They're not sweet, so they're not going to add any, like if you need that sugar to mask anything, they're not going to add to that, but they just give it a little bit of a different thing. So some of the ones that I use for my coffee, hazelnut. Hazelnut is really, really yummy, especially if you pair it with cherry. Hazelnut and cherry is really good, or raspberry. So I have some caramel. This is really nice just on its own. Some caramel with some salt. That's what else I add to the coffee, is a pinch of salt right before I stick it on the stove, and I forgot to bring it over. But just the caramel with some salt, warm it up, and then I do a little bit of frothed heavy whipping cream. You got your regular old vanilla. If you want to get feel all toasty, there's rum extract, so all the goodness of rum without the booze, so you could have that in your morning coffee and not have to worry about it. Pecan is another really yummy one. Pecan and, where'd my apricot go? Well, I have an apricot extract. I thought I brought it out, but I must not have. That's right here. It's the big one. So pecan and apricot is really yummy. Also, almond, apricot, and cherry is really, really yummy together. There's cinnamon. You can do there's coconut. There's all kinds of different extracts. So raspberry extract, I like that. I'll mix raspberry and chocolate together in the coffee. It's really, really good. So there is chocolate extract, which right here. Or you can do cocoa powder. The cocoa powder I tend to find doesn't dissolve as well, but if you mix it really good with a whisk or even an electric frother, it will mix pretty good. But if you just don't want to have to do that, chocolate extract. And I am going to do a tutorial video on making your own extracts, because there's various extracts that are pretty easy to make at home besides just vanilla extract. The other thing that I found really funny is coffee extract. So I limit myself, due to health conditions and things, I limit myself to 1, maybe 2 cups of coffee a day. And I don't drink coffee every day, but if I do, that still is the max. So sometimes I'll make a nice fat, a nice fatty keto hot chocolate. You know, just for in the evening or whatever, just because I want something. But if I want that coffee flavor, I want it to be more like a cappuccino, but without the coffee, I have my hot chocolate and I can add coffee extract. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Just like we have our coffee and we can add the chocolate extract, I thought, well, why not just reverse it? So it makes it really nice. So those are the extracts that I add, and I just need to grab a measuring spoon because you don't want to have too much. You don't want to have too much, and then you also don't want to have You don't want to end up with too much extract, but you also don't want to end up with too little. And there's my salt. So we do liquid flavorings, or liquid sweeteners, and you can get just plain. This is one of my most favorite plain non-sugar sweeteners. It is monk fruit. It's strong. I only need like a few drops, but there's no flavoring with it. It's just the sweetener. If you want to mix it up a little bit though, this is our favorite brand, is Sweet Leaf Sweet Drops. They're organic, they're potent, they don't leave a nasty aftertaste like some stevias that we've had. They come in all kinds of fun flavors. They don't have glycerin in them. The ingredients are literally just the purified water, the extract, and the organic stevia extract. So some of the flavors that I like to use for my coffee, we have vanilla cream, we have hazelnut, and I may or may not use these in combination with the flavoring extracts. Sometimes if I use the flavoring extracts, then I'll just use the plain sweetener. But if I don't use the flavoring extracts and I just want like something quick, I'll use the flavored stevia. So we've got English toffee, really yummy. Peppermint, again, peppermint and chocolate mixed together, super yummy. This one is chocolate raspberry, and we'll get to the vanilla cream. So those are the ones that I primarily use in my coffee. There is a hazelnut one too that I have, but I didn't. Oh yeah, hazelnut. So I like those. Sometimes if I'll use the extracts and I have a compatible flavored sweetener, it just kind of enhances the flavoring from the extracts a little more, and then gives the sweetness with it. So this morning, I actually think I'm going to do a raspberry. Oh, I'm going to do a raspberry chocolate. So, and then I will just use my chocolate raspberry stevia to just kind of complement that. So for 1 cup, I kind of just use, and you can, I mean, just flavor it how you feel like it. So what might taste really good to me may not be for you. So this is a half a teaspoon of the raspberry, and actually I'm just going to do a smidge more. So it's not quite a teaspoon. It's kind of in between a half and a whole, and then the chocolate. And you know, different brands of extracts are going to be different strengths as well. So half a teaspoon of the chocolate, because the chocolate is really strong, plus I'm going to be adding this. There. It's not a full dropper, because when you get it, there's only maybe like 6 drops in there. Then I'm going to take this and warm it on the stove, and then we'll come back and finish up the latte. Okay, so now we have our coffee all heated, and we are ready to, oh, I don't like that. We are ready to pour it into our mug. Obviously, if you used a microwave, you're going to be able to skip this step, but again, I don't have a microwave. Now we have one of 2 options. You can either just stick your heavy whipping cream or nut milk right in there, or you can get all fancy schmancy like I'm going to do, and you can warm your milk and then actually froth it up. So what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of heavy whipping cream, and I like Dean's Dairy Pure in the blue carton, because it doesn't have any, it does not have any gallium gum, it doesn't have any carrageenan or anything in it. If I can't get my hands on this, then I will do the organic Horizon Valley. It does not have the carrageenan, and it just has the gum in it, and that doesn't bother me as much as the carrageenan. So I don't really measure it. You could measure it, but I just put a little bit in. It's probably like less than an ounce. And then whatever nut milk you want. So I have almond milk already open in the refrigerator, but I have macadamia nut milk downstairs. You can use thin coconut milk. You can use hemp milk. I don't use soy milk. You could use soy milk. Cashew milk will be fine. That's going to be a little bit higher in carbs because cashews, though they're really yummy, are a little bit higher in carbohydrates. But what you're going to do is you are just going to, whatever. And this is going to be more than what I'll use for my coffee, but what I'll do is I'll usually drink down a little bit of the coffee and then add a little bit more. So, again, I'm going to go warm this up and then I will show you some magic. All right, so now that our milk is all heated up, and I don't boil it, I heat it till it just is starting to just get the small boils around, but nothing that it would get a skin on it. So I'm going to put it in a big dish. You could just do this in a mug or whatever, or in a measuring cup if you were heating it in the microwave. I use a battery operated frother. I do have a plug-in one, which I really like as well. This one was just easier to grab out. So you can see it's not very tall at all, but when I start frothing it, it really brings up that volume. And it will almost double, if not actually more than double in volume. Now again, you don't have to do this. You could just use cold milk. This is just for a little fun treat. If I'm in a rush, I certainly don't take the time to do this. I may warm it, but I might not froth it. Or I may just stick the cold cream right in there and call it good. You can add flavoring extracts to this, like vanilla or whatever if you wanted. If you're trying to keep it completely dairy-free, you could do thick canned coconut milk to replace the heavy whipping cream. So I like this one. I get it at Costco in a 6-pack, pretty cheap, and it's organic. So everything in it is organic, though it does have guar gum in it. It is organic guar gum, and I just find that it's really nice. I use it in a lot of recipes. You could do a mixture of this along with the almond milk, or even some thin coconut milk. Mix it up, whatever works best for you. The other thing that I didn't show was I did add a pinch of salt to the coffee before I made it, and before I warmed it. So now you can see how much more volume we have on this. And if you just pour it real slow, sometimes you can use a spoon and it'll sit right on top of the coffee. I got a bigger cup so that I could use all the milk because I just broke a nice long fast. So I'm going to use milk. So with that, we have a yummy, delicious latte. So good. All right. Well, thank you for watching. If you have your own favorite flavorings that you like to use, or you give some of this a try and you try some different flavor concoctions, be sure to write a comment on the post or let me know. You can always find me on Facebook as well. And this has been fun. I enjoy getting to play with the different flavors because I'm not really that great of a cook, but anyone can make flavored coffee. So have a great day and stay safe, and hopefully everyone's quarantine will end soon.